What's the real difference between seniors who stay independent in their own homes until age 90 and those who need help by 75? Is it luck, genetics, or something you can actually control? In the next 15 minutes, you'll discover 7 daily routines that research proves keep seniors self-sufficient, independent, and living on their own terms for decades longer than those who don't follow them. And here's something that will surprise you. The 5th routine takes only 10 minutes weekly, but prevents 80% of the health crises that force seniors into care facilities, yet most people completely ignore it. These aren't expensive programs or complicated medical interventions. These are simple, deliberate routines that determine whether you control your own life or lose that control to others. Researchers at Johns Hopkins tracked over 3,000 seniors for 15 years to identify exactly what separated those who maintained complete independence from those who required assistance. What they discovered wasn't what they expected. It wasn't money, family support, or quality health insurance that made the difference. It was 7 specific daily, weekly, and monthly routines that anyone can implement starting today. Routine 1. Daily functional fitness practice. Self-sufficient seniors practice the specific movements they need for daily life every single day, without exception. This is fundamentally different from going to a gym or taking walks. The Mayo Clinic has published extensive research showing that independence depends on your ability to perform specific functional tasks. Standing up from a chair without using your arms, reaching overhead to get items from shelves, bending safely to pick things up from the floor, climbing stairs confidently, carrying groceries, getting in and out of the bathtub, and maintaining balance on uneven surfaces. These aren't abstract fitness goals. These are the exact movements that determine whether you can live independently or need assistance. Johns Hopkins researchers found that seniors who practice these functional movements daily maintain the strength and coordination to perform them when needed, while those who don't practice them gradually lose the ability to do them. Your body operates on a very simple principle. You maintain what you use regularly, and you lose what you don't use. If you stop practicing getting up from chairs, your leg muscles weaken and the movement becomes harder, so you avoid it more, which makes you even weaker. This creates a vicious cycle that ends with inability to stand up without help. Research from Harvard Medical School demonstrates that functional fitness, practicing the exact movements you need for daily tasks, prevents this deterioration far more effectively than general exercise. When you practice functional movements daily, you're literally rehearsing independence. You're keeping your muscles, joints, balance systems, and coordination sharp for the tasks that matter most. Studies consistently show that seniors who incorporate functional fitness into their daily routines maintain independence years longer than those who either don't exercise at all or who only do traditional exercise that doesn't translate to daily life skills. Russell, a 79-year-old from Nevada, noticed he was struggling to get up from his recliner and started avoiding sitting in it. Instead of accepting this decline, he began practicing chair stands daily using his kitchen chair, and within 3 weeks, he had completely regained the strength and confidence to stand up easily from any seat. Here's exactly what you need to do starting today. Practice these 7 functional movements every single day for 10 minutes total. Stand up and sit down from a sturdy chair 10 times without using your hands. Reach both arms fully overhead 10 times, as if getting something from a high shelf. Bend forward safely with slightly bent knees and touch your shins or ankles 10 times, practicing the movement you need to pick things up. Step up onto a low step or curb 10 times with each leg to maintain stair climbing ability. Stand on one foot for 20 seconds to practice balance, then switch feet. Do 10 heel raises while holding your kitchen counter to strengthen calves needed for walking and balance. Practice getting down onto the floor safely and back up again at least once. These movements take less than 10 minutes and directly maintain your ability to function independently. Do them every single day, not just when you feel like it. Practice these movements today. Independence depends on daily practice, not occasional effort. Routine 2. Weekly meal, preparation and nutrition planning. Do you eat proper, nutritious meals every single day? Or do you skip cooking because it feels like too much effort and end up eating whatever's easy? Research from Harvard Medical School shows that poor nutrition is one of the fastest paths from independence to dependence in older adults. When you don't eat adequate protein, your muscles deteriorate rapidly. When you skip fruits and vegetables, your immune system weakens and inflammation increases. When you rely on processed convenience foods, your blood sugar becomes unstable and your energy crashes. The CDC has documented that malnutrition and inadequate protein intake in seniors leads directly to weakness, increased fall risk, slower healing, cognitive decline, and ultimately loss of independence. This isn't about perfect eating or complicated diets. This is about consistently fueling your body with what it needs to maintain strength and function. The problem many seniors face is that cooking feels overwhelming when you're tired, or when you're cooking for just 1 or 2 people. So you skip meals, eat cereal for dinner, or rely on frozen meals that don't provide adequate nutrition. Over time, this inadequate nutrition silently steals your strength and mental sharpness. Studies from Johns Hopkins demonstrate that seniors who maintain good nutrition maintain independence significantly longer than those with poor nutrition, even when other health factors are similar. The key isn't cooking elaborate meals daily. It's having a simple system that ensures you eat proper nutrition without daily decision-making and effort. When you prepare food in advance and have a clear weekly plan, eating well becomes automatic rather than a daily struggle. Research consistently shows that seniors who use meal planning and preparation systems eat significantly better than those who decide daily what to eat. Marilyn, an 84-year-old from Kansas, was losing weight and strength because she rarely cooked proper meals anymore. When her daughter helped her establish a simple Sunday meal prep routine, her nutrition improved dramatically and she regained the energy and strength she'd been losing. Here's your simple meal prep system. Dedicate 2 hours 1 day each week to prepare food for the entire week ahead. Choose Sunday or whatever day works for you. Cook a large batch of protein, baked chicken breasts, a pot of beans, or hard-boiled eggs that you can eat throughout the week. Wash and cut vegetables so they're ready to eat. Prepare a large pot of soup or stew that provides multiple meals. Cook a batch of whole grains like brown rice or quinoa. Portion everything into containers, so each day you simply heat and eat, rather than cooking from scratch. Keep your pantry stocked with easy staples: canned tuna, peanut butter, oats, canned vegetables, and whole grain bread. Write a simple weekly meal plan before you shop, so you buy exactly what you need. This system means you only cook once or twice weekly, but eat proper nutrition every single day. If meal prep feels overwhelming, start smaller. Just prepare protein and vegetables for 3 days, then do it twice weekly. Plan next week's meals today. Proper nutrition is the foundation of maintained independence and strength. Routine 3. Monthly home safety assessment. Self-sufficient seniors actively prevent falls. They don't wait until falls happen and then react. The CDC reports that 1 in 4 Americans over 65 falls each year, and falls are the leading cause of injury death in older adults. But here's the critical statistic. Most falls are completely preventable through home safety modifications. Research from the National Institute on Aging shows that the majority of falls happen in predictable locations due to identifiable hazards: loose rugs, poor lighting, bathroom hazards, clutter, unstable furniture, and lack of grab bars. Seniors who systematically identify and eliminate these hazards maintain independence far longer than those who ignore home safety until after a fall occurs. The difference between these two approaches is often the difference between living independently for decades versus ending up in a care facility after one preventable fall. One serious fall can end independence permanently. Johns Hopkins researchers have documented the devastating cascade that often follows a fall. The fall causes a fracture. The fracture requires hospitalization. The hospital stay causes deconditioning and confusion. The person is discharged to rehab or a facility rather than home, and independence is never fully regained. This entire catastrophic sequence often starts with a completely preventable hazard like a throw rug or inadequate bathroom lighting. The tragedy is that most people know their homes have hazards but don't address them until after they fall. Studies show that proactive home safety modifications reduce fall risk by up to 50%. Yet most people resist making changes because their homes have always been that way, or they don't want to admit they need modifications. But maintaining independence requires preventing problems rather than dealing with consequences. Eugene, an 81-year-old from Pennsylvania, tripped on his bathroom rug in the middle of the night and barely caught himself on the sink. That near fall prompted him to finally install grab bars, improve lighting, and remove all throw rugs, modifications he'd been putting off for years. Here's your monthly home safety routine. On the first day of each month, walk through your entire home, specifically looking for fall hazards. Remove all throw rugs and bath mats, or secure them with non-slip backing. Check that all stairways and hallways have bright lighting and working light switches at both ends. Install grab bars in the bathroom near the toilet and in the shower or tub. Remove clutter from walkways and keep floors completely clear. Ensure all handrails on stairs are secure and that you use them every time. Keep frequently used items at waist height so you don't need to reach high or bend low. Wear supportive shoes with non-slip soles inside your home, never just socks. Add nightlights in your bedroom, bathroom, and hallways for safe nighttime navigation. Secure electrical cords against walls rather than across walkways. Check that rugs and carpets are flat with no curled edges. Make these modifications room by room if doing everything feels overwhelming, but complete your entire home within 3 months. Check your home for hazards this weekend. One fall can end your independence permanently, but prevention takes only minutes. Routine. 4. Daily cognitive engagement. What actually challenged your brain today, or did you stick to the same familiar routines you do automatically? Research from Johns Hopkins and the Mayo Clinic shows that cognitive reserve, your brain's resilience and ability to function, directly determines how long you can manage independent living. Cognitive decline leads to poor decision-making, difficulty managing finances, inability to follow medical instructions, getting lost in familiar places, and ultimately inability to live safely alone. The National Institute on Aging has documented that seniors who regularly engage in cognitively challenging activities maintain mental sharpness and independence significantly longer than those whose days involve only familiar, automatic routines. This isn't about doing crossword puzzles occasionally. This is about genuinely challenging your brain with new learning, complex tasks, and varied activities every single day. Your brain maintains the neural pathways you use regularly and prunes away those you don't use. When every day is identical and involves only familiar tasks you can do automatically, you're not maintaining cognitive flexibility and problem-solving abilities. Harvard Medical School research demonstrates that cognitive engagement works like strength training for your brain. It builds reserve capacity that protects you when you face illness, stress, or natural age-related changes. Seniors with high cognitive reserve can lose some brain function, but still maintain independence because they have extra capacity. Those with low cognitive reserve lose independence at the first sign of decline because they have no buffer. Studies consistently show that learning new skills, engaging in complex conversations, reading challenging material, solving problems, and varying your daily routines all build cognitive reserve that protects independence. Pauline, a 77-year-old from Virginia, noticed she was becoming forgetful and confused about managing her bills. Instead of accepting this decline, she started learning to use a tablet computer and took an online class, which significantly improved her mental clarity and confidence managing her affairs. Here's your daily cognitive engagement routine. Every single day, do something that genuinely challenges your brain rather than something you can do automatically. Learn a new skill by taking a class, watching instructional videos, or reading how-to books. Have complex conversations that require thinking rather than just small talk. Read books or articles about unfamiliar topics rather than rereading familiar genres. Do puzzles that are actually difficult for you, not ones you find easy. Learn to use new technology rather than avoiding it. Change your routines regularly, take different routes, rearrange furniture, try new recipes to force your brain to adapt. Play strategy games that require planning and problem solving. Teach something you know to someone else, which requires organizing your knowledge clearly. The specific activity matters less than ensuring it genuinely challenges you rather than being automatic. Aim for at least 20 minutes of deliberate cognitive challenge daily. Additionally, protect your brain health through physical exercise, good sleep, stress management, and social connection, all of which support cognitive function. Challenge your brain with something new today. Mental sharpness protects your independence more than almost anything else. Routine. 5. Weekly health monitoring and response system. Here's the routine that prevents 80% of health crises that lead to loss of independence, catching small problems early before they become emergencies. Research from Harvard Medical School shows that most health emergencies that force seniors into care facilities don't appear suddenly. They develop gradually with warning signs that go unnoticed or ignored. Unintentional weight loss signals possible illness months before it becomes critical. Gradually rising blood pressure predicts stroke risk weeks before the stroke occurs. Increasing shortness of breath indicates heart or lung problems before they cause collapse. Subtle balance changes warn of fall risk before the actual fall happens. The Johns Hopkins School of Medicine emphasizes that seniors who monitor key health metrics regularly and respond quickly to changes maintain independence far longer than those who only address health issues when they become symptomatic emergencies. The difference between a manageable health issue and a catastrophic one is often just timing of intervention. When you catch high blood pressure early, simple lifestyle changes might be all you need. When you ignore it until you have a stroke, you might lose independence permanently. Studies show that regular self-monitoring catches problems an average of 6 weeks before they would have caused a medical emergency. That 6-week window is often the difference between staying home and ending up in a facility. The key is having a simple, consistent system for checking specific health metrics and knowing exactly when changes require professional attention rather than just worrying alone. Research from the Mayo Clinic demonstrates that seniors with structured health monitoring systems have significantly fewer emergency hospitalizations and better health outcomes than those who don't monitor themselves between medical appointments. Roland, an 83-year-old from Montana, noticed during his weekly blood pressure checks that his numbers were creeping upward over several weeks. He called his doctor immediately, adjustments were made, and he avoided what likely would have become a serious cardiovascular event. Here's your weekly health monitoring system. Every Sunday morning, check and record these key metrics. Weigh yourself on the same scale at the same time and record your weight. Unintended loss of 5 pounds or more in a month requires a doctor visit. Check your blood pressure using a home monitor or at your pharmacy twice monthly and record the numbers. Readings consistently above 130/80 require medical attention. Count your resting heart rate by taking your pulse for 1 minute when you first wake up. Significant increases over your normal baseline warrant a call to your doctor. Time. How long you can stand on one foot with eyes open, inability to balance for 20 seconds indicates fall risk needing addressed. Notice any new symptoms like shortness of breath, chest discomfort, persistent pain, significant fatigue, confusion, or changes in vision or hearing. Don't ignore these, hoping they'll resolve on their own. Keep all these numbers in a simple notebook with dates so you can track trends over time. Establish clear action triggers. If your weight drops 5 pounds without trying, if your blood pressure stays elevated, if your balance worsens, or if new symptoms persist more than a few days, call your doctor that week. Don't wait for your next scheduled appointment when you notice concerning changes. Early intervention prevents crises. Start tracking one health metric this week. Early detection of problems preserves independence, while delayed intervention often ends it. Routine 6. Structured social connection. Independent seniors don't wait for social contact to happen randomly. They schedule it deliberately, like essential medicine. Research from Johns Hopkins and Blue Zones, studies of long-lived populations, shows that regular social connection is as important for maintaining independence as physical health. Social isolation leads to depression, which causes inactivity, which leads to physical decline, which results in loss of independence. The pathway from loneliness to dependence is well documented and remarkably consistent. Harvard's long-running study of adult development found that people with strong social connections maintain both physical and cognitive function far longer than isolated individuals with similar baseline health. This isn't about being extroverted or having dozens of friends. This is about having regular, meaningful contact with other people that gives you reasons to get up, get dressed, leave your home, and engage with life actively. The problem is that social connections don't maintain themselves automatically after retirement. Work friendships fade, children have busy lives, friends move or pass away, and suddenly you realize days or weeks have passed without meaningful social interaction. Studies from the National Institute on Aging show that seniors who lack structured social routines become increasingly isolated, as maintaining connections requires more effort than they feel capable of making. The isolation then accelerates physical and mental decline, creating a downward spiral. Conversely, seniors who treat social connection as a non-negotiable scheduled activity maintain the energy, motivation, and physical capability that enables continued independence. Research consistently demonstrates that regular social engagement protects cognitive function, maintains physical activity levels, provides emotional support during challenges, and gives people compelling reasons to maintain self-care and independence. Doris, a 78-year-old widow from Iowa, became increasingly isolated and depressed after her husband died, barely leaving her home. When she forced herself to commit to 3 scheduled social activities weekly, a walking group, volunteering at the library, and lunch with friends, her entire physical and mental state transformed within 2 months. Here's your structured social connection system. Schedule at least 3 social activities every single week, and treat these as non-negotiable appointments you don't cancel unless genuinely impossible. Join a regular group that meets weekly, senior center activities, religious services, hobby clubs, exercise classes, volunteer organizations, or book groups. Schedule weekly phone calls or video chats with specific people on specific days so connection happens automatically. Arrange regular standing dates, weekly coffee with a friend, monthly lunch with former colleagues, or regular visits with family. Accept invitations even when you don't feel like it, because isolation makes you want to isolate more. If transportation is a barrier, research senior transportation services, rideshare options, or ask about rides from the groups you want to join. If you struggle to find activities, call your local senior center, library, religious organization, or area agency on aging and ask about social programs. Make new friends by showing up consistently to the same activities. Friendship develops through repeated contact. The specific activities matter less than having regular scheduled social contact that requires you to get up, get presentable, leave your home, and interact meaningfully with others. Schedule 3 social contacts for next week right now. Regular connection maintains the motivation and capability for independence. Routine 7. Monthly financial and administrative organization. Could you quickly locate your important documents, or would a family member need to search for hours through disorganized papers to find what they need? Research from the National Institute on Aging and financial gerontology experts shows that financial confusion and administrative disorganization often trigger family intervention and loss of autonomy. When bills don't get paid, when important documents can't be found, when financial accounts become chaotic, or when health information is scattered and unclear, family members or social services step in and take control. What started as simple disorganization ends with someone else managing your money, your healthcare decisions, and your life. Johns Hopkins researchers have documented that cognitive decline often first manifests as difficulty managing finances and paperwork. But even seniors with normal cognition can lose independence simply through poor organization that creates the appearance of incapacity. Maintaining independence requires more than physical health. It requires demonstrating that you're capable of managing your affairs competently. Studies show that organized financial and administrative systems provide clear evidence of competency, while chaos suggests inability to manage independently. Having systems in place also protects you from making serious errors like missing insurance deadlines, failing to pay critical bills, or being unable to access important health information when needed. The Mayo Clinic emphasizes that seniors who maintain organized financial and administrative systems not only avoid loss of autonomy, but also experience significantly less stress and anxiety about managing daily life. Simple organizational routines prevent the overwhelming confusion that often triggers the transition from independence to requiring help or supervision. Arthur, an 80-year-old from Tennessee, had paperwork chaos that made his adult children worry he couldn't manage alone. When he established simple monthly organizational routines, his children's concerns disappeared because they could see he was managing everything competently. Here's your monthly administrative organization routine. Dedicate 2 hours on the first of each month to review and organize your financial and administrative affairs. Check that all bills are paid and set up automatic payments for regular expenses so nothing gets forgotten. Review bank and credit card statements for any errors or suspicious charges. Organize important documents in clearly labeled folders: medical records, insurance papers, legal documents, financial statements. Create a master information sheet listing all your accounts, doctors, insurance policies, and emergency contacts, and keep copies in obvious locations. Update your medication list monthly and carry a copy in your wallet. Review upcoming appointments and ensure they're on your calendar. Go through mail and paperwork, filing what's important and shredding what's not needed. Keep a simple notebook tracking health information, symptoms, and questions for your doctor. Ensure at least one trusted person knows where you keep important documents and how to access critical information if needed. If this feels overwhelming, ask a family member or hire someone to help you establish the initial system, but then maintain it yourself monthly to demonstrate ongoing competency. Organization takes only minutes monthly, but prevents the chaos that triggers loss of autonomy. Organize one administrative area this month. Demonstrated competency through organization protects your independence and autonomy. Self-sufficiency in old age isn't about never needing anyone or being perfect at everything. It's about maintaining the physical capability, mental sharpness, social connection, and organizational systems that enable you to manage your own life and make your own decisions as long as possible. These 7 routines, daily functional fitness, weekly meal preparation, monthly home safety checks, daily cognitive challenges, weekly health monitoring, structured social connection, and monthly administrative organization take less combined time than you spend watching television, but they literally determine whether you control your own life or others gradually take control from you. Start with just 1 or 2 routines today and add others as they become habits. Which of these 7 routines will you implement first? Comment below and commit to it publicly. Research shows accountability dramatically increases follow-through. If you know a senior who wants to maintain independence as long as possible, share this video with them today. These routines could give them years of self-sufficient living they wouldn't have otherwise. And if you want more practical, evidence-based strategies for staying healthy, independent, and in control of your own life after 60, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss actionable information that protects your independence and quality of life.